On this, mate?
I would have been happy to go out there. Yeah, I mean, conditions are bad, but you just drive to them, right? So, yeah, if no one else wants to set a time, maybe they can let me out and, and go into a lap and get pole. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. So yeah, I don't know if they'll run it in the morning or if that'll just be the grid. But yeah, I was pretty pumped up to go out there and do a lap. But yeah, it is what it is.
You know you love these conditions. There's probably half a chance you probably could have put on the front row as well.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? It's so tricky in these conditions. You can go from 0 to 0 pretty quickly and can be on a good lap and then just be half a metre too late with a tiny bit too much brake, and then you're down an escape road and not having a lap time. So it's massive risk and versus reward, which is what makes it exciting. But yeah, I came here to drive, not stand in the garage, unfortunately. So yeah.
Whilst we still got you, mate, your thoughts for tomorrow? How do you think race day is going to pan out? Have you got what sort of pace you got both in the wet and the dry?
Yeah, Murph and I had some good pace this morning, so yeah, it looks like we'll be we're there or thereabouts. We're still a little bit behind in terms of running just from Thursday, but good thing there's 1,000 Ks on tomorrow to figure it out. So yeah, I guess with all this wet weather, we've all taken a bit of a stab in the dark with the car set up, and won't really know until Sunday afternoon what the car speed's like when it really matters. So looking forward to finding out.
Thanks for your time, Richie. Really appreciate it, mate. Stay dry on the trip home.
Thanks.
There he is, Richie Stano. I'm going to try and see if I can duck in here. I can see Greg Murphy over here. He's just talking to one of the journos, Paul Gover, here, and Gover's just finished his IV, so I'll see if we can jump in here. We're just live. We're live, Greg. We're live. I know we're live, mate.
You must be desperate for content.
I'm so sorry, Paul. I'm so sorry to butt in. I'm so sorry. Murph, your thoughts, mate?
Oh, it's miserable. I feel sorry for all the incredible fans that have so committed to being here. That's sort of first. These days, that's my. I think differently to when I was racing full time. I feel sorry for the teams and certainly everybody watching all around the world who was looking forward to a shootout like I was. You know, it's just, yeah, it is what it is.
Richie told me just then he was pretty keen to go out in them.
Of course he was. He's got duck feet, that boy. So I'm sure he would have gone out there and managed it somehow. But you know, Peter Adden's got a different view on it and everything too. But
what does he say?
Oh, he wants it to all happen. He wants it to go ahead. But yeah, I wouldn't have been keen if I was having to throw the helmet on.
Were you out there? You would have been out there yesterday, wouldn't you? In P4 when we had all the standing water.
No, I was out this morning.
This morning, yes.
In P5 in the wet, and it wasn't. We didn't have a lot of standing water at all. So it was. Richie was out yesterday, and
yes.
that was in qualifying, and it looked really tricky. I mean, and also the session before that, before qualifying, obviously it was incredibly challenging.
That was the one I was referring to. Yeah.
We saw obviously Lowndesy go for a big swim and give his car a wash, and plenty of others as well. You know, it was incredible. But when you can't get into pit lane, then it's serious, and it's worse now than what it was yesterday.
How's the race car for tomorrow, though?
Well, you know, I really enjoyed practice this morning in the wet. I sort of not surprised myself, but I think I was surprised how comfortable it was. The rain is a bit of a leveller, you know, and it definitely many years of driving cars in tricky conditions, I suppose, sort of helped me this morning. But I really enjoyed it. The car was very good. So, you know, we've been given a very good weapon this week by Erebus, and you know that's made things a bit easier.
Enjoy tomorrow. Have a safe day. Have a good day.
Thank you very much.
There he is, Greg Murphy. We'll see if anyone else is loitering around down here at the moment. I don't like our chances though, because obviously the 888 car over here of the Craig Lowndes machine was meant to go out tomorrow. We're going to try and duck out here, Todd, and see if we get more reaction. As you can see, we are deep in the pit lane at the moment, and it is actually pouring down. There was a chance, in fact, where they thought they may have been able to run it, because the weather and the rain certainly lightened off for a moment, but even about 5 minutes before they made the call, it got considerably worse. So I'll quickly duck down here to see if I can get any more reaction. If anyone is loitering around, keeping in mind tomorrow, 11:15 race start for the Bathurst 1000. Actually, whilst we're here, let's talk about this number 3 machine. They had a really weird trouble earlier on today. They actually had an air jack. Now, what an air jack is, it actually pops up the car, and for some reason it actually popped up through the car rather than actually popping it up onto all four wheels. So a very odd situation down here, and actually it stopped them from running in one of the earlier practice sessions, Sam.
I do want to ask you though, Brian, while you're trying to find someone there, obviously safety is the main consideration, but we have seen so many wet tracks before in supercars and in Bathurst. What makes this particular day different from those days and would force them to make this big decision?
Yeah, let me try and find an example for you. And I'm going to come right into pit lane. I'll probably get in absolute trouble for doing this. So the reason for it, let's run down here, Todd, because this is the best explanation. So this is only a small explanation, but look at all this river, right? If I just put my hand there, you can see how much standing water. Now, there is points at the racetrack where there is a lot of that. I mean, if I put my thumb in there, you can see it's completely saturated. So there's many, many points of the racetrack where that is, in fact, happening. So when you've got standing water, the tyres actually can't release that water quickly enough. So what actually happens when the car goes across a river like that, it actually sits up on top of the water, believe it or not, and like you do in your normal road car, it simply just aquaplanes and you've got no control over your machine. So it's difficult. It's a shame that it's had to obviously pan out this way, but as you can tell, we're getting some reaction live on the ground here at the moment, and I guess now for the teams, they just settle in for what's going to be 1,000 Ks tomorrow. Haven't got confirmation yet as to whether or not the top 10 shootout will be cancelled altogether, or if we'll run it tomorrow morning. But I mean, it's going to be pretty tight because we've got a morning warm-up to do. You've also got support categories to think about tomorrow as well. So if we don't run it tomorrow, I would dare say that the results and the grid positions will be set from yesterday's 40-minute all-in qualifying session.